Hi, students. I can see that many of you are struggling with the Khan Academy task titled Distributive Property with Variables. And so I thought I'd work through a couple of the problems with you so you can understand what it is you're supposed to do. This is the first question that came up for me. It might not have been your first question. One thing I see that might be difficult for you is that you have to multiply fractions times whole numbers. And that's mixed in with the idea that you have to actually apply the distributive property. The distributive property tells you that you need to distribute this 1/2 to every single term inside the parentheses. You can think of this 1/2 as a cookie, and you're giving it to this student, and this student, and this student. So in essence, I'm going to take 1/2 and I'm going to multiply it by 2. And then I'm going to take 1/2 and I'm going to multiply it times 6. And then I'm going to take 1/2 and I'm going to multiply it times 8. Luckily, multiplying 1/2 times a number isn't too hard. You just take 1/2 of the number. And I bet you know that 1/2 of 2 is 1, 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 1/2 of 8 is 4. So we'll start. 1/2 of 2a would be 1a. 1/2 of 6b would be 3b. And 1/2 of 8 would be 4. And notice I kept the negative and the positive, or the minus and the plus, exactly as they were, because this 1/2 was positive, and so multiplying it times each of those terms will not change these signs. In this case, the number that I'm multiplying with is on the right-hand side, but that doesn't matter. I'm still going to multiply 2 times each number in the parentheses. So 2 times 6 is 12e minus 2 times 3 is 6, so it's going to be minus 6f. And then lastly, 2 times 4 is 8, so it's going to be minus 8. So that's what I get when I multiply 2 times each of the things inside the parentheses. The language we use is that we say 2 times each of these is because we did 2 distributed to each of the terms inside the parentheses. Here's another one with a fraction. So when it's 1/5, you take 1/5 of this number, in the same way that in that other example, when it was 1/2, we took half the number. I'm still going to multiply 1/5 times 15 and 1/5 times 10. But 1/5 of 15 is just 3. And 1/5 of 10 is like dividing 5 into 10, so it's just 2. But you got to keep the k, because it's 1/5 of 10k is 2k. And now for the last one, I bet you can do it. It's going to be 2 times 3, and then 2 times 8, with a minus in between it and the y right there. So it's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6, minus 2 times 8, which is 16y. And there you have it.